Good morning and welcome to the first broadcast of Coffee Talk. I'm Roxie Bustamante.
And I'm Tanner Tate. Too Fast, Too Furious actor Paul Walker and his friend Roger Rodas passed away this weekend in a car accident. Initially, people thought it was a hoax. Later, his death was confirmed by police and when family members and close friends of Walker turned to social media. Walker's daughter Meadow posted on Facebook, and Rest in Peace Paul Walker was trending nationally for 2 days.
If you love to travel or to learn about new cultures, the College of Media and Communication is traveling abroad while specializing in certain majors. One of the programs traveling abroad will tour through Germany this summer and caters to journalism majors. Our very own Alicia Keene has more about the program.
Journalism professor Kelly Caulfield will lead the first College of Media and Communication study abroad program to Wilhelmshaven, Germany this summer. Dr. Caulfield will teach storytelling by smartphone and assist a German professor in teaching electronic media operations.
So I think one of the things we'll do more sort of capturing culture in Germany. I think that'll be fun. And the things we cover will be very different. We'll look at history. Another key difference is I'm going to discourage students from burning through data in Germany, which can become very pricey. So we're actually going to do a lot more active news gathering with phones, but offline.
The application deadline is January 24th, and the month-long program will begin July 13th. The Study Abroad website says the program fee is still to be determined, but it'll cover housing, excursion, and local transportation costs. ComC will also offer an MCom and PR class in London during the May semester. Drs. Peasley and Foster will be hosting their first study abroad experience as well, teaching EMC and photography courses in New Zealand.
Roxie, I heard that you went studying abroad last summer.
Yeah, I went to London with the PR and Mass Comm program, and it was awesome.
You sound like you're from London. The anti-abortion legislation in Texas, now overturned, caused the closure of a number of women's medical clinics in the area. Our reporter Carolyn went out to investigate and to see how the clinic shutdowns will affect you.
The abortion debate in Texas grows even bigger as more and more clinics shut down each week. In Lubbock alone, 2 Planned Parenthood facilities have shut down, but the circumstances around it aren't what they appear.
I'm standing in front of what used to be one of 2 Planned Parenthood Lubbock locations. This place was the only place that provided abortion services in Lubbock. But after what's being called an asset transfer, these 2 facilities are now owned by a company called Generation Healthcare.
Generation Healthcare bought out the Lubbock Planned Parenthoods in late October, just days after an injunction that halted the anti-abortion legislation in Texas that was later overturned. But the injunction came too late. Generation Healthcare's ownership and operation of the 2 facilities was made official on October 30th. The nonprofit company, owned by parent company Adoption Covenant, said that their clinics won't be providing abortion services as part of their health care. Instead, they'll provide services like breast and cervical cancer screenings, diabetes, cholesterol, and blood pressure screenings, and birth control. Both locations, the one on 67th and Indiana and the office in Briarcroft, are being renovated in accordance with Generation Healthcare's plans.
At this clinic, they plan on building an educational facility called the Institute for Creative Learners. Here, they'll combine art, technology, and multisensory teaching methods to help educate kids with learning differences.
I spoke with Angela Martinez, former director of the Planned Parenthood, before the shutdown. She said all she wants is to be able to provide such a crucial service to women in Lubbock.
If you're against abortion, it doesn't mean it's going away. Mm-hmm. Or if you make it harder for women to have an abortion, they're still going to do it. I just want to be available so it can be done safely.
So what will Lubbock women do if they need to access abortion services? They'll have to leave town and travel to Dallas or Austin, or even a neighboring state.
For MCTV, I'm Carolyn.
Speaking of healthcare, Obamacare has been a huge topic across the nation with mixed reviews. Some Democrats have been backing away while others still support it. Here with us today is Emily Pellegrini and Evan Dixon. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Now, Evan, you are involved with Devil's Advocate, a political talk show for KTXT. Where do you think our healthcare stands right now?
Well, right now, the White House just announced this morning that 29,000 people signed up on Sunday and Monday using the healthcare.gov website. So things may be actually improving for the website overall. They did a lot of revamping over the weekend. The White House says that the website can now handle over 50,000 users to sign up at one time and 800,000 visits per day it can handle. So they may be on that hockey puck stick upwards to kind of fixing the website overall and allowing more people to sign up on the daily basis.
Okay. But I guess they got a long way to go. So.
They do. The real problem is the fact that their goal is to have about 7 million people signed up by March of 2014. They're obviously nowhere near that goal. There's also the end of this month, or December 23rd, is the cutoff point, if you would like, insurance starting January 1st. So if they don't get enough of the young, healthy people to sign up by December 23rd, insurance prices could go up next year and the year after.
Okay. Well, how do you think this will affect us, especially college students, like in our age range, in the future when we're trying to apply for jobs in healthcare?
Right. One of the parts of the healthcare law, the Affordable Care Act, does allow for students or anyone under the age of 26 to stay on their parents' health care insurance up until the age of 26. So that really actually has benefited a lot of students, and it's actually going to end up maybe lowering the cost of student fees and whatnot, because there's not going to be as many students on the university-provided healthcare plans.
Okay. I would love to stay on my parents' health care. I don't know. What do you think, Emily?
Probably a lot better than the healthcare I'm going to get in my first job. So yeah, I think my parents would be the way to go.
Well, I know that if you don't get benefits for your first job, especially for young Americans, there is an application that you can apply for if you make under, I think, $46,000 a year, which I know that I'll probably be making less than that. So I'm going to go for that low funding, healthcare
Plan, yeah.
Well, the news has covered this topic extensively, but specifically about what's going on in-house with Congress and between the political parties. How do you think that affects the audience's view on the actual facts of Obamacare?
I think the public is maybe a little confused on some of the facts because they're kind of getting conflicting sides from both the Democrats and Republicans. They both have strong feelings about what this new health care law will bring, and I think at least I am a little bit confused, and the public may be as well, about what the truth is and what this law will bring to us in the coming years.
What do you make of that?
I think the Republicans and Democrats are really in a transition phase right now. For the past 2 years or so, the Republicans have been saying that we would like to repeal and replace Obamacare, and they've gotten some new numbers apparently recently that it looks bad on their part that they really don't want to try to just fix the plan that was passed and signed into law. So a lot of the stations have been covering the fact recently that the Republicans are changing their message and really just wanting to fix the healthcare law instead of repealing and replacing it.
On the Obamacare website, it states that Obamacare's goal is to give more Americans access to affordable, quality health care and to reduce the growth in health care spending in the United States. Do you think this is too much government intervention, or do you think it's necessary?
I don't know. It's certainly the cost of insurance and healthcare has definitely skyrocketed over the last couple of years. Yeah. But it'll just be interesting to see how the Republicans and Democrats maybe work together eventually to really fix a lot of the little problems within the original Affordable Care Act.
Okay, great. Well, female stereotypes have existed in the media for years, but today there are different images and perspectives of women projected in the media and movies. Alicia, Keene investigated the difference between two idolized women.
The blockbuster Hunger Games sequel, Catching Fire, premiered November 22nd. Some wonder if the movie's popular protagonist, Katniss Everdeen, serves a better role model to girls than controversial celebrities like Miley Cyrus. Texas Tech journalism and electronic media communication professor Robert Peasley says he thinks Katniss' character serves a more favorable role model than a lot of other possible alternatives.
Is it the best possible iteration of young womanhood in cinema? I don't know about that. I think there are still some dimensions of her character that are reliant upon very old notions of normative femininity.
He says Katniss modifies traditional female roles because she takes on boyish qualities. Peasley said he thinks Katniss is probably better influenced than Miley Cyrus, but Miley is bringing female gender tropes into focus by exaggerating them.
I think that there is a school of thought out there that what Miley Cyrus is doing is actually deconstructing and critiquing many of those gender tropes with regard to the display of the female body, ideas about sexuality and coquettishness.
Peasley says all life experiences affect how people read media, but he does not believe the media directly influences people's character. He says people want to identify with characters like Katniss who appear to be significant, and celebrities like Miley are characters too because they construct personas.
I mean, that's the whole point of a hero-driven narrative, is that we feel the significance of that character's evolution as a hero, and we have that catharsis without putting ourselves in the actual danger.
He says people may identify with celebrities at a greater magnitude because they have a veneer of being real.
Emily, you have seen The Hunger Games. What kind of image do you think Katniss portrays?
I think she portrays a very positive image to young women, both on screen and off. Jennifer Lawrence does a good job of being a role model in the realm of Hollywood to young women, and I think that's evident by the fact that many mothers feel comfortable taking their children to the Hunger Games because they know that she does project such a positive image.
How do you think this would affect the future of women, and by the impact of, you know, Miley Cyrus versus Katniss or Jennifer Lawrence and those kind of images?
Well, certainly, you know, you have Miley Cyrus, who used to be Hannah Montana, she's definitely changed her image over the past couple of years, and a very stark difference in comparison to Jennifer Lawrence and Katniss. Yeah. I think they obviously represent two very different type of women in society, and I think that Katniss, she obviously is a strong character, and it's good to have strong female characters to show women that they can do just as much as men can in the workplace. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really the statement that the movie makes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I think that they were talking about the violence in the movie, and so how do you think that Katniss kind of handled that? Because I know they showed both the emotional part and the physical part.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've seen some articles even compare her to Wonder Woman, and so when we think of classical, maybe superhero and action movies, there is some violence, but I think kids can see that they're fighting the evil and that their character is still upheld in a positive image, and I think that's kind of why she is compared to Wonder Woman in some aspects.
Wonderful. Well, thank you.
Thank you guys for joining us this morning.
Thanks so much for having us.
To discuss what's trending. All right. Now we turn to Morgan in the MCTV Sports Center for a look at sports. Morgan?
Thanks, Tanner. After 5 straight losses and an overall record of 7-5, Tech will get the chance to redeem themselves and finish the season on a good note during the upcoming bowl game. Head coach Kliff Kingsbury said his team will be ready for their bowl game despite their 5-game losing streak.
You know, they were 7-5 last year at this point, so it's not like it's just the end of the world or we're 2-10, things like that. So they're still motivated. They want to send the seniors out on the right note. And like I said, effort's been good. We just have to clean things up.
As far as bowl projections go, several news sites have reported that they expect Tech to play in the Texas Bowl on December 27th at Reliant Stadium in Houston against Big Ten team number 6, most likely Minnesota. Last year, these two teams competed in the Meineke Car Care Bowl of Texas, where Tech came out on top with a game-winning field goal. A couple of other rumored bowl games for Texas Tech include the National University Holiday Bowl and the Advocare V100 Bowl. Hopefully, Texas Tech and Kingsbury can figure out a way to come together and break their losing streak to conclude the 2013 season. The Red Raider basketball team fell to number 2 Arizona last night, 79-58. Kadir Tapsoba and Jay Crockett each led the team with 11 points, but it was not enough to stop the high-flying Wildcats. The Red Raiders are off through finals week and next play on December 15th against Central Arkansas at the United Spirit Arena. Roxie, back to you.
Thank you so much, Morgan. Tanner, did you go to Carol of Lights this year?
I didn't make it this year, but I really wish that I did because it's just an amazing event to go to. I love the Christmas carols. I love whenever the lights go on. I mean, I really think it's an amazing deal in the Christmas spirit.
Right. Well, this year was the 55th year, and it happened a little earlier, but it was streamed online. So,
Well, I did hear that they had some technical difficulties on that, though.
well, hopefully it works out next year. But they did have perfect weather for it, don't you think?
Yes, but it looks like from the tower cam there will be colder weather heading our way this week. Today we have a high of 71 and a low of 32. But on Thursday, Dead Day this week, the temperatures will really drop with a low of 17 and a 60% chance of light to freezing rain. Finally, on Friday, there will be a high of 30 and a cold low of 11 degrees. It seems like we can't get rid of this cold weather.
Well, that's all for Coffee Talk this morning. Make sure to watch today's edition of MCTV Weekday Update. Have a great day.
And good luck on finals.